Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Freshwater Custom Rods. My name is Austin and super excited about giving away this free Power Play glass ice rod at our demo day on the 27th of January. We did a little fishing contest and gave away a free rod. So this is what the winner ordered. We've got ourselves a white 32-inch medium fiberglass rod. We have fire red thread wraps going around these silver guides, a cork split grip, and this guy wanted a little something extra, so we have some marbling that we're going to do on this ice rod. This will be the first ice rod with marbling. We've got firecracker, magic glitter, and white. This thing is going to look super cool. Well, we're all about building rods and making memories, so we got to start building this rod. All right, so the first thing we need to do is get these cork pieces to fit. So we take our reamer, ream out the middle of this cork so that it will slide further down the rod blank. Then we should be good to go, ready to glue it on. So let's do it. That'll do. Now we're gonna glue up this handle to the rod blank now that we've got it fitting. So we need some 2-part epoxy, equal parts hardener and resin. Just give that a good mix. All right. Just want to apply a little bit to the end here. Just like that. Alright, so we've got a little flag with tape here. We're going to find the spine, find where this wants to be and where we're going to put the guides. It's almost lined up with that decal if it's on the bottom. So we're just going to go ahead and mark that about right there. Double check our work. We want that red line to sit right on top. Boom. So now we need to mark where we want to put these guides. We'll put these bands around them to hold the guides on. We'll also need one for our hook keeper down here. Well, we're gonna go ahead and put all of our guides and hook keeper on so that they're ready to wrap. All right, so this is ready to wrap. First thing we're going to do here when we're wrapping the guides is create a loop and double it over so it has some tension. Create just a few more wraps before it'll hold itself. Now once we have about 7 wraps or so, we can cut this tag end off. So we'll snip that one. We will wrap over it to hide that piece. We're going to cut our bands off one at a time just because they were just holding it on there for us until we got this guide wrapped with our thread. Now we're going to slow things down here. This part is kind of fun to see. Got a pull through loop with a different color thread just for some nice contrast. We're going to snip this thread, keeping tension on the threads that we just wrapped. Put it through our pull through loop, and then we will pull the thread underneath itself to secure it. Now we'll just grab a razor blade and get rid of this excess here so that it'll look nice and clean when it's all done. So we're gonna do this with the rest of the guides as well. Make them look just like that. Now that we have all of our guides wrapped, we just kind of need to do our prep for this marbling work that we're going to do. So we're just going to put down a nice coat of clear epoxy first, just to get everything ready to go. For these ice rods, I want to make sure that my decal is going to fit perfectly on top of this first layer of epoxy. So just hold it up, make sure it'll measure out great once we're ready to do that portion. But we got to let this marbling pigment dry first. White just went on. Just kind of dabbing this on as I go, creating at least some color, letting the rod dryer do some of the work for a minute. Get all my colors on. Here's the magic glitter. And then in just a moment, we're going to start pulling those epoxies a little bit more than what the rod dryer is doing. So added just a little bit more of this firecracker just so that it wasn't being drowned out by the white. And you guys have it. We got some nice marbling going on here. So now that the rod has had 24 hours to dry, we're just going to put some decals on. Of course, the Freshwater Custom Rods decal, as well as decal with our specs. It'll just tell us that this is a white fiberglass rod. That's a 32-inch medium. Before we can put our final coat of epoxy over the top, we just have to make sure that we break the surface tension of the decals with this color preserver. So we're just going to apply that, give it an hour to dry, and then we'll come back and do the final coat. So this is our second coat of epoxy. We're just putting this over the decals to protect them, keep them from coming off, as well as just a second coat on all the thread wraps and the marbling that we did, just to keep everything nice and protected from the elements. Before we let this sit for 24 hours, we're just going to torch with some denatured alcohol the epoxy just to get any air bubbles out. After 24 hours on the dryer, I noticed just a few slight imperfections, as you can see in this video and the following photos. So I messaged Connor, and basically he said in response to seeing them whatever you have to do to make it up to your standards, I'm all for it, man. Really love your attention to details and not taking shortcuts. So that was just super encouraging, and now it's just time to do some light sanding and fix these little imperfections. All right, guys, so here we have it. This is basically the finished product besides this little bit of sanding I'm going to do in those two little spots. I'll put a fresh coat on, make it look just like this, but feel nice and smooth. But this is the marbling pigments. Again, that's a white base with firecracker and magic glitter. And that looks good underneath those decals. Fire red thread wraps, cork split grip, and of course the white rod blank. There's the fire red against the silver guides. Man, this thing turned out sweet. So, if you guys are looking to do a little bit of customization, yeah, the ice season might be over, but I do make open water rods, so go ahead and check us out at freshwatercustomrods.com. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing down below. It's easy, it's free, just click that button, and we'll see you during the next video. Thanks for watching.